Hey guys, it's Kelly. Today I'm going to be talking about the new Final Destination movie that just came out. It's called Final Destination Bloodline. Well, I mean, it came out like 3 months ago, May 16th. I know you're probably like, why are you just doing this now? Well, I didn't watch it till this now. You know, because we were waiting for it to, be on a streaming platform. We watched it on Amazon Prime. It was like $5.99, I think, something. It was $5. Totally worth it, in my opinion. It was a great movie. 10 out of 10. And I'm going to be talking about, so if you guys don't hear anything about the movie, any spoilers, I would kindly skip out the video, because I'm going to be talking about it. I have like the notes written down that I've made when I was watching the movie of like this stuff I wanted to talk about. So I'm just going to give kind of a little breakdown of what happens in the movie and stuff. So I really thought it was good. So it starts off, we're in like this 50s, 60s setting. It's like the 50s or 60s, I'm pretty sure 50s, because the way people were dressed in the cars and stuff. And it was this couple, this girl, her name was Iris, and her boyfriend, I can't remember his name. I mean, he's not too much like important to the movie, in my opinion. Like, I mean, in the way he plays a part, I guess, but I don't know. To me, he's not like the most important character of the movie. But so it's them, and they go to this like Skyview restaurant. There's like this big tower, and like at the top it's this restaurant, and like you can look all around, it's all windows, and you could like see on the outside, and the floor is glass. Like, you can look it up. It's a real place. I forget what state we said it was in, but so they're out there, having a good time going up there, and the guy, the boyfriend, proposed to Iris. She said yes, and also told him that she's pregnant, which was all great. And then that's when chaos started happening. Like the glass floor started cracking, and eventually like people fell through there, and then like the whole thing just collapsed. It was, I'm not gonna lie, I thought it was kind of like, I don't want to say a cool scene, because people died. I mean, I know it's a movie, but I don't know, it was really like crazy, but it was like kind of cool to watch in a way, though, if that makes sense. Like, I'm not saying it's cool to watch people die and shit, but like, and like obviously she survived, and then this little boy survives, well, kind of. She like was hanging on for dear life. Like her engagement ring that she just got like was like stuck to something, but then like it rips her finger off, and she and the little boy falls. But what's crazy is like, if you guys watch the other Final Destination movie, is usually like the last person who survived is the one who has like the vision of everyone dying and all that in that scenario. But it wasn't. It was the girl's granddaughter, Iris's granddaughter, if that makes sense. So granddaughter was the one who was dreaming about this. So apparently like for 2 months she was having the same dream of like her grandmother Iris and the boyfriend in this Skyview restaurant thing, and they're like falling. But yeah, so it was like a really interesting story. Then like the girl, her name is Stephanie, which is Iris' granddaughter. Stephanie, is having these dreams, and then so she like goes to her family and finds her grandmother and confronts her about it. Grandmother's still alive. She was in like this isolated cabin and stuff, like and she was older. She was doing well, so. And like I was saying, how she was actually able to stop the accident from happening and save all those people's lives, but death came back and killed all those people that was in that Skyview restaurant that day, except obviously her and stuff. But it was sad, but it was like really cool. I liked the storyline in this movie. I thought the storyline was good. She told Stephanie this. And then, like, Stephanie goes to leave because she didn't kind of believe Iris at first, but, it's kind of understandable. It does sound crazy. So she leaves. She walks out there, and then Iris stops her. She, like, hesitates, like, before she steps out the house. Then she finally steps out the house because she wants to give Iris this book. And she does, and, like, she's, like, wants to prove to Iris that this, Stephanie, sorry, that this is real. Iris wants to prove to Stephanie, which is Iris' grandmother. I know this might sound confusing, guys, but bear with me. Just remember, Iris is the grandmother, Stephanie is her granddaughter. So Stephanie, stops running away and, talks to her again and wants to give her a book. She's like, I'll prove it. And, like, this thing falls off her cabin. It's like, like the barns have these weird, like, chicken things that says north, east, west, all that stuff. And it has, like, chicken on top. It was something like that. It falls off and, like, goes right through the back of her head to the front and kills her. So, like, that was sort of kind of proving to Stephanie that this was real, because I guess she could see death coming and she knows how to prevent it. So that was crazy to me. I mean, that's how Final Destination movies, I feel like, work. There's like always trying to prevent death and stuff like that. I mean, I recommend watching the old Final Destination movies. There's 5 others. This would be number 6. So let's see, where was I? So now death is coming for Stephanie and her family. So with Stephanie and her family, it's Stephanie, mother, her father, then her uncle and her aunt. Now her mother and her uncle are brother and sister, and Iris's kids. The mother's name, Darlene, I forget. I think it's Howard was the son's name, which would be Stephanie's uncle. Then yeah, so. And then Stephanie's father was named Mark, but he's not really relevant too much in the movie, you know, because he's not blood related, so this doesn't affect him. And then obviously the uncle's wife is named Brenda, and again, she's not too affected by, I mean, I guess she is in a way, but anyway, so, you know, Marty and Brenda, again, are 2 characters, in my opinion, are not super important to the story, but, so, you know, Stephanie, you know, obviously how it goes, she confronts her family about this, but obviously they don't believe her, and yeah, so, obviously how the death is coming from, it's like, the husband, oh, not the husband, the uncle, Stephanie's uncle, Howard, I believe his name is, so Howard, we're just gonna say Howard, I'm pretty sure it's Howard, is, would be first to die, then his 3 kids, the 3 from oldest to youngest, so Eric, Julia, and Bobby are the 3 kids, then Stephanie's mother, Darlene, then Stephanie, she's the oldest, and her younger brother, Charlie. Okay, so you guys can understand kind of how that works. So, Howard actually ends up they have like the family barbecue, you see stuff happening, like a piece of glass ends up in one of their glasses, you think one of them's gonna drink it, do they? You have to watch to find out. But he ends up getting killed by the lawnmower, like he steps on a piece of glass, and then he like falls over in the lawnmower, like cuts his head, or like shatters his face pretty much, you know, completely destroys his head. And if you remember, that kind of was from another Final Destination movie, I forget which one, but the lawnmower hits like a rock, and it goes flying into the woman's eye and kills her. If you guys remember that with her 2 kids, she was like in this, I don't know, spa, I think it was like a spa, and she was like trying to get her 2 boys under control, and the rock flies up from the lawnmower and gets her, so I feel like they were paying homage to that movie by adding that, the lawnmower scene again. I like looked away when that happened, so he's dead, he's done. And then obviously Eric, because he's the oldest. So it shows him, this scene was posted on TikTok and Insta, the tattoo shop scene when you're in the piercing tattoo shop. Shows him like, obviously shit starts to happen. There's a chain that falls, gets wrapped around his nose piercing, like it's pulling him, and then the chain is getting wrapped around a fan, which is like pulling him up. He's able to get it free at one point, but then like a fire starts because like these chemicals get burning, like, so I forget what actually causes fire exactly, but like a fire starts, hits, chemical starts, he falls in it, the whole place goes up in flames, but he did not die in that. And why he did not die in that? Because he was not the bio son of Howard. I guess the mom admitted like she had an affair with someone, and that's where he was assaulted from, which is crazy. So he did not die. You know, Stephanie finds out about the tattoo shop going up in flames. She goes to check on Eric, and she like gets concerned and shows Eric and shows all these racing, and now like there was this like wood tree cutter thing in the tree that could have fallen him, killed him, just like all these bunch of things walking by. But then shows his sister Julia, which she would have been the next in line to die after Eric, but obviously Eric's not the bio child, so it goes to her obviously. Now this was before they found out that Eric, no, hold on, let me finish first then, but so is his sister Julia going for one, but then he's like, the tree thing falls out the tree, and there's kids playing with a soccer ball, and like the soccer ball hits her in the face, knocks her in the trash bin, and then she gets picked up by like the trash guy into the truck. Now Stephanie, climbs into the truck as the truck is still driving while it's Eric and Bobby chasing the truck too. Not Eric and Bobby, Eric and Charlie is Stephanie's brother, chasing the truck to try and get him to stop while Stephanie's climbing the truck, was able to grab Stephanie, starts to pull her up, but she gets crushed in the truck. So Julia's dead at this point, and then after that, that's when they find out that Eric's not the bio kid of Howard, the uncle. I hope that's his name, I'm not saying the wrong name, but anyway, so that happens, but not done yet, people. Let's see. So then they find out Iris knew this guy who went by JB. And they go to confront him. He works he's as a mortician in the hospital. And you not believe it. If you guys seen all the Final Destination movie, you know there's this the actor that plays Candyman. He was in the Final Destination movies. Like they were just showing. He didn't really do much, but they were just kind of showing him there at the scene of like what would happen, the accident of what would happen. Like he was in every movie. He passed away last in 2024. I think it was September. So like it was towards the end of the year. So it was a different guy playing him. But you know, and I guess he was the little boy that that Iris ends up saving in the beginning. You know, but obviously it was the premonition, but yeah, the little boy, which is crazy. So it's crazy how like the Candyman played in the movie, like we get to figure out who he is, because like he would just be there. Like we never knew where he was, why he was always there and stuff, and always watching them. It's always weird, but we got to finally figure out how he fits into this puzzle, which I think is really cool. It's like a full circle moment. Like we finally got to figure out like why was he always there? Who is this guy? You know. So that was pretty cool how we got to find that out. But and he tells him like the only way you can fix this situation with death if you have to kill someone and you get like however long they have left. So let's say you kill someone and they have like 50 years left, right? So you get those 50 years for killing a person. All what you could do is you get someone, the person who's next in line, which at this point would have been Bobby, who is next in line to die. Because he was the last kid of Howard's kids. So, you have to kill him and bring him back to life, and then that would break the chain. So, as Stephanie, Charlie, and Darlene didn't want to do that. Have to kill Bobby, bring him back, all that. But Eric did. Eric convinced Bobby to do it. So they take off, and they come up with a plan for Bobby to eat peanuts because he's allergic to peanuts. And then because they were waiting in the hospital, so eat the peanuts, bring him back. But that didn't go, as planned. So basically what happens is that they get the peanuts from the vending machine, it gets stuck, and so Eric goes behind the vending machine and starts to like tip it over. So it makes you think, like all throughout the movie, you think, oh, is this how this person's gonna die? But it's completely different. It's really cool how they do it. It makes you think it's something happened one way, but it happens a completely different way. It's really cool. I love that about movies, how kind of the unexpected, So they're going to this room. It ends up being an MRI room. The MRI machine ends up getting turned down because it's a whole like chain reaction of events that get it to turn on. You have to watch the movie. It was really good. So what happens at first, all of Eric's piercings get ripped out, his nips, his nose, ears, all the piercings he has. I think he had a tongue piercing too, if I remember. I know, it's like nose, earrings, nips, like all ripped out. Because MRI machines, they're very strong. And like you have any metal on you, you can't go into the MRI machine room because, it would rip it out. So like if you have like metal inside of you, like for example, my daddy has stents in his heart, which is metal, so he can't go in an MRI machine. It can get ripped out of his chest and kill him. But basically, that's what happened. And then he had a wheelchair in the room because he was going to wheel Bobby into the emergency part of the hospital so they could resuscitate him after he ate the peanuts. So he got Reese's Peanut Cups. He was eating those. That was happening for a second, and he started to have a reaction. And then that's when, the MRI machine turned on and the piercings got ripped from his body. And then, because as you guys know, wheelchairs are metal, the wheelchair gets pushed into the MRI machine, but it like pushes Eric too, because he was in the race. So this is the wheelchair, this is Eric. The wheelchair's there, and like because of the magnetic pole is pulling the wheelchair towards it, the wheelchair takes Eric with him, and Eric gets crushed in the MRI machine from the wheelchair, getting like sucked into the MRI machine. It was gruesome. And then Bobby, he was able to get his EpiPen, I almost said EpiPen, from Eric's hand so he can save himself from the peanut reaction. But then he stands there, Stephanie, oh no, not Stephanie, another nurse comes in, not another nurse, but a nurse comes in, and they're like, how the vending machines has those like curly things that the food's on, so like when you like click to get something, kind of, twists and then it drops, it's like metal twisty things, that shoots out, gets him right in the head, kills him. So that's them dead. So all three of those kids are dead. Now it's Darlene, Stephanie, and Charlie left to die. Which I know, it sounds morbid. So they decided to go to Iris's cabin. because that's where Iris stayed all these years, and she was able to survive. Because she was able to see death coming and prevent it. So they was driving there in Darlene's RV. So I didn't say this in the beginning, but Darlene, the mother, she left when Stephanie and Charlie were young. She wasn't really in the picture. She came back when Iris died. I guess she was living in an RV and stuff. So they drove her RV to the cabin, but they were pulling out to the hospital. They almost get hit by a truck. And do you know what truck that was? A log truck. And I'm sure a lot of you know the log truck is from a Final Destination movie, if you remember. I forget which one again, but so I think that's cool how like they add those little things from other movies in this movie, like the lawnmower that was from another movie, not the exact same way it happened, but you know, the log truck. And I just think that was cool. So, and then, you know, it shows them driving in. You know what? They drive over a bridge. And it's the same type of bridge from the other Final Destination movie where the bridge collapses and they die. So, again, another kind of tribute to a past Final Destination movie, which I thought was cool. They get to the house, you know, stuff happening, and the trailer flips over. It was like a whole action-packed thing. And, like, Darlene was about to walk into the house because Stephanie gets caught in the RV, like she couldn't get her seatbelt off. So it's like, if Darlene gets inside, she was the next in line to die, then Stephanie would be safe. So she gets in the house, but before she gets in, you see this like little, what's it called? It's little like, you know, like when you have a bonfire or something, you see these little like things float up in the air from it. This little like orange like things of lights. Like I can't think of what they call, like sparks. A little spark flies into the house. The whole house explodes. You know, and Darlene, she was okay. She jumped back, was able to get away before. She didn't even get a chance to walk inside. She realized it was going to happen, so she kind of jumps back. She's good, you know. But Stephanie's still trapped in the RV. The RV's on its side. Charlie is fine. He gets up. Darlene is fine. You know, then they're talking. Darlene goes to tell him to go save Stephanie. But what happened? She gets crushed by like this pole thing. I don't know exactly what it was. It's like this big tall thing. It looked like some sort of pole thing. Crushes her. You know. And then Charlie was able to get her out, but the RV was filling with water. Able to get her out, Stephanie out, and resuscitate her from drowning. Now that's where I'm gonna leave it there, because then after that, that's when the ending happens. I'm not gonna give away the ending, but wait till you see the ending, because it's crazy. But I will say with the Final Destination movies, this one, I will say it's definitely more, the deaths in it were definitely more like intense and gorier than the other movies, in my opinion. You know, I mean, it has been a minute since I watched the other 5 Final Destination movies, but, you know, I definitely would say they were more gorier. I thought it was really interesting. You know, I liked the storyline, and I like how we got to find out how the dude who, you know, that Candyman, the actor of Candyman played in these past films, like, how he was involved in it, how he, you know, relates to these films, you know, who he is and stuff. I think that was cool how we got to find out his, you know, role in all this and why he was there, you know. But even though he's played by a different actor, because obviously Candyman passed away, the actor. His name is Tony something. Tony Todd. You know, so I think that's cool. I do wish we could have Final Destination movies though, where we find out like why these people have these premonitions of death. You know, like why are these people getting them? You know what I mean? So I think that would be cool if they do another Final Destination movie. Maybe they could like explore that aspect of like why are these people getting the premonitions to begin with. So I don't know, but it's definitely a good movie. I'm sorry if like me explaining it was confusing. I tried to explain it as clear as possible, but I recommend watching the movie again on Amazon Prime for like $5, $5.99. I definitely think it's worth it to pay for it. It's a great movie. I don't know how long it was. I'm just gonna, come on, am I can't just. But I don't think it was that long, to be honest. But it was definitely a good movie. But the ending, I wish I could just talk about the ending, because wait till you see it. I don't want to give any inkling away to the ending though, you know. But yeah, I recommend going to watch it. It's 1 hour and 15 minutes. It's just about 2 hours. I'm telling you though, it's definitely worth the 2 hours. Love the movie. Also, too, today is my sister Gloria's birthday, so make sure you give her a happy birthday in the comments. But yeah, if you guys have seen Final Destination Bloodline, please let me know what you think in the comments. You know, I really love to know your thoughts. Why can't I speak? I'm always stumbling over my words. Sorry about that, guys. I know that has to be annoying, but yeah, I love doing these movie reveals, to be honest. You know, and I think the next movie reveal we'll probably see is the new Conjuring coming out next month, actually, in September, so stay tuned for that. I might actually go to the movies to see that, possibly. We'll see, but, you know, I'm excited for that movie to come out, but yeah. Watch Final Destination Bloodlines. I recommend it. Great movie. Just, again, it is really gory, the deaths, so just stay tuned for that. You know, beware of that. I mean, stay tuned. What's wrong with me? Beware of that before you watch it. If you can't handle, like, super gory stuff, then I would not recommend it necessarily. I mean, if it's not, like, too terrible, just, like, a lot of bloodiness and stuff, but, you know. I mean, it didn't bother me, but, like I said, just a little warning for you guys who are not into gory stuff. Just beware before you watch it that it's going to be gory. But, I mean, all the Final Destination movies are gory, to be fair. I mean, the deaths are gruesome. In the other ones as well, I just think that, like, in this one was really gruesome. And I'm like, I'm not going to lie. In the Final Destination movies, the deaths in these movies are very creative. I know that sounds weird to say, but, like, they die in ways, like, you never really would think about. You know, it's like, the way people die in these Final Destination movies are ways, like, I feel like no one ever thinks about, like, you can die in this way. I never really thought about that, you know? It kind of almost gets you thinking. You know, makes you kind of more, like the whole log truck, you know? People, like, I know a lot of people are scared to drive behind log trucks. I've seen clips on Instagram reels of people showing the log truck and, like, being scared or, like, keeping their distance. You know, but that's something you never think about, like, logs, you know, falling off the truck and, like, killing you until you saw that movie. Like, whoever, like, thought about that, you know, look at one of those trucks and thought about it. But I do like to how, like, the log truck was in this movie, you know, the Final Destination Bloodline movie. You know, that, the lawnmower, you know, and what else? The bridge, you know, there's something else too. I don't want to give away because it has to do with the ending of the movie, but there's something else to do with, you know, in the ending that's from another movie, from another Final Destination movie as well. I just think it was cool how they did that, you know. But I really thought it was a good movie, 10 out of 10. I do recommend watching it. But yeah, I love you guys so much. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please follow me on my socials. Follow everyone in my description, guys. Please subscribe to me. Please like and please comment. Make sure you send birthday wishes to my sister. You know, in the comments there. Give her, you know, give her a sweet happy. What's wrong with me? I can't talk. You know, wish her a happy birthday. That's what I'm trying to say. But I love you guys so much, and I will see you randomers in the next video. Peace.